how to play rock and roll with an Ample Guitar VST starting right now. Hi friends, it's William Nollins. I'm back for another video. If you haven't done so, you can subscribe to the channel so once a week you get a new free tutorial video on how to play with Ample Sound VSTs. Today's lesson will be about how to play rock and roll with an Ample electric guitar VST, which is kind of a big topic, but I'm going to focus on a particular technique used by all guitarists to create punchy and badass guitar riffs. And that technique is called power chord. Power chords are by definition a colloquial name for a chord in guitar music, especially electric guitar, that consists of the root note and the fifth. And sometimes we can add the octave note. But how do they sound like? Well, in a Riffer, if you generate an A major chord, here's how it sounds. And if I want to turn that chord into a power chord, well, I'll just have to keep the root note, the fifth note, and the octave note. And I think that you'll be able to hear the difference. So how to rock the hell with an Ample Guitar VST starting right now. Great, now let's start the tutorial. So just open your favorite Ample electric guitar VST, go to Riffer, create a new riff by clicking on that button. Make sure that the tempo is set at 135 BPM. Make sure that the quantization value is set at 1/16, that the time signature is set at 4/4, and that you have two measures opened in the grid. And also make sure that the default insert note velocity value is set at 120. Now, to program a power chord, first we need to insert a chord. So just click right here, just once, go to the menu and change the root of the chord, which is by default a C major, to a G major. Then change the position of the chord to position number 3. Now, if we want to play a power chord, as we said it earlier, we want to play a root note, a fifth note, and an octave note. So we get rid of all the other notes. And to do that, we're going to double click on the 3 first notes, just like this. So we get a nice badass power chord. And do not forget to extend the chord a little bit to the right so it lasts longer. And up next, at position 1.3, we're going to insert a new chord. We are going to change the root of the chord from C major to A sharp major. And we're going to keep the 3 first notes and get rid of all the other ones. And also slightly adjust the values of the notes. Next chord will be an F. Click on the chord generator, change the root to an F major. Get rid of the 3 first notes and extend the chord a bit to the right again. Now, right between position 2.2 and position 2.3, we're going to copy and paste the G chord, and we're going to extend it twice. And to close the riff, we are going to copy and paste the F chord right after the G chord. And once more, just before the end of the measure, just like this. Now, check this out. Now, to make it sound less empty, we want to add some guitar effects. So right after the first chord, we can insert a fast articulation. By default, it's going to be a downstroke noise, which is by definition the noise that a guitarist can generate when he mutes the strings, but hit on them with the pick. Chat, 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 that's the noise. But then, when we play that downstroke, we also want to mute the notes of the previous chord. So just go to the articulation menu and select silent stroke. Now, to give the riff some bite and a bit more groove, we can generate 2 downstrokes right here and right here. And we're going to do the same between the A sharp chord and the F chord. Just copy and paste the silent stroke and insert 2 downstrokes. And to make it more groovy, let's insert another articulation right between the downstroke noise and the F chord. Go to the menu again and select upstrokes. Now, again, we want to add another silent press right after the F chord to mute the notes of that chord. And we want another downstroke noise at position 2.2. And last but not least, let's copy and paste the silent press to mute the notes of the other F chord. And now we have the riff, so here's how it sounds. Alright, so obviously power chords are for rock songs, so we're going to load a nice heavy amp simulation. But before we do that, we need to make sure that the default reverb is deactivated. Okay, and if you own the extension library of the AGG, you might prefer to play the song with the both pickup library, which is an extension. Then we close the plugin and we can drag an amp simulation, which is in my case Guitar Rig 5 Pro, and I'm going with the Pete Won't Explain presets. I just double click and here's how it sounds like. Okay, that is a good riff for a nice introduction or a verse, but if we want to play a chorus, for example, which by definition contains a lot of intensity and energy, then we might want to get rid of those silent presses and upstrokes and downstrokes that mute the strings and the notes all the time. Okay, we want something that keeps on going. So here's what we can do. So instead of muting the notes with a silent press, we may want to keep the groove going by deleting that articulation. Then we're going to copy and paste the G chord. We go to the menu, we decrease the velocity down to 80, and we want that chord to be played in palm mute mode. And we're going to copy what we just did and paste it right before the A sharp major. Then we're going to get rid of the downstroke noise, but we'll add a new upstroke right here to give the riff a bit more groove. Now for the A sharp major, I'm going to be super simple. First, let's get rid of the 4 articulations. Then just copy and paste the first chord right before we switch to the F major. Paste it again after the first A sharp chord. Change the articulation to palm mute mode and the velocity level down to 80. Then copy it and paste it. In the second measure, we are going to do more or less the same. We're going to erase the silent press, copy and paste the F chord, change the articulation to palm mute mode and set the velocity down to 80. Now we want to paste again what we have here, so it shortens the G chord. And right here, when we play the transition with the 2 F chords, we are going to shorten the first one, okay, a bit to the left, and we're going to insert a silent press to mute the notes of the previous chord. And then we are going to generate another silent press at position 2.4. Okay, that will be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, well, you can hit the like button. You can download the samples if you want to use them for your creations, and you can leave a comment below to tell me what you think. And if you want more resources on how to play with an Ample Sound VST, you should check that video, which will give you some tips and tricks on how to make it sound more realistic, while that video will provide you with free samples to write finger picking songs. You can also subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.